Welcome to the Teaching Autism and Special Education Community Podcast. Hi, I'm Nikki, a passionate special educator, autism advocate, resource creator with over a decade of experience, and you may know me as the face behind Teaching Autism. This podcast is your go-to place for practical tips, hands-on strategies, and inspiring and funny stories to support special educators all around the world, whether it's building independence, creating engaging lessons, or finding that elusive work-life balance. I'm here to help you thrive inside and outside of the classroom. Let's dive into today's episode and make a difference together. Hey friend, and welcome back to the Teaching Autism and Special Education podcast. I'm Nikki, your host, visual support enthusiast, neuroaffirming educator, and someone who 1000% believes that visuals are not just for little kids and not just for schedules. Today's episode is all about how to use visual supports beyond your daily schedule, because I know when we say visuals, most people immediately think of the visual schedule that's stuck to the wall, or maybe a first and then board, and then that's kind of where it ends. But here's the thing, visuals can and should be everywhere in your classroom, not just to help students know what's next, but to support transitions and to reduce anxiety, to guide communication, to prevent meltdowns, and to give your students more autonomy, understanding, and safety. So let's dive into how to make visuals work beyond the schedule, even for your older students. So first up, why visuals work. Here's the deal. Visuals are more than cute little picture cards. They are cognitive anchors. They support processing and memory and executive functioning, language comprehension, and emotional regulation. For neurodivergent students, visuals will help to make abstract concepts more concrete. They will reduce the load on working memory. They will slow down information so that it's easier to process. They will provide clarity when verbal language is confusing or overwhelming. And there's science to support this, and I'll link in the show notes to that research so you can expand on that as well if you want to. But the research shows that visual supports significantly improve behaviour, independence, and understanding for autistic students, and that benefit applies well beyond the early years. Visuals aren't babyish, they're accessible, and accessibility isn't optional. So let's start with visuals for transitions. This is one of the top causes of dysregulation in classrooms, and visuals can make a huge difference. You can use countdown timers. Maybe they're visual, maybe they're sound timers. You can use transition strips. So think of first and then boards or now, next, later boards. You can use visual movement prompts. Stand up, push in your chair, walk to the door. And you can also use picture cues for lining up, packing away, and even washing hands. And if your student is a little older, what you can do is swap out maybe those cartoon images for icons or text-based visuals, real photos or stylized visuals that maybe feel more age appropriate. The point isn't the style of the image, it's the support that provides. Next up, visuals for emotions and regulation. Let's be real, regulating big feelings is hard, especially when verbal processing is tricky. Visuals can help students to recognize what they're feeling, to choose strategies to feel better, to communicate that they need help. So I want you to try and use feelings charts with facial expressions or emoji-style visuals, zones of regulation visuals, emotion thermometers, I feel I need boards, maybe break request cards or help me visuals. One of my favorites is a calm down corner menu with pictures of regulation choices like headphones, a squeeze toy, water, hug, space. Even your older students will benefit from this. They might roll their eyes at a how are you feeling thermometer at first until it gives them the language they didn't have before. And I'll link to a bunch of those resources in the show notes. Next up, visuals for communication. So if your student is non-speaking or minimally verbal or just struggles with expressive language, then visuals are a game changer. So some of the options include core vocabulary boards, communication books, request cards, conversation starters, choice boards, even sentence builders. So I want, I feel, because. You can use all of these in play, in snack, in centers, in literacy time, group discussions, transitions, even in conflict resolution. And even students with spoken language can prefer visuals during dysregulation because their verbal access might disappear under stress, but a card, a gesture, a button, all of that still works. Okay, now we're going to look at visuals for academics and behavior. So let's bring visuals into work time too. So think of step-by-step task strips and visual rubrics and learning objective cards, visual instructions for centers or tasks, visual checklists for independent work. And for behavior, things like expected and unexpected visuals, behavior cue cards, so, quiet voice, stay in your seat, positive reinforcement visuals. When I finish this, I get token boards, visual rules with clear images, or even photos of your class routines. These aren't just about compliance, they're about helping students to understand expectations and see their own success. And I know, what about older students? I get this question all the time. What if my student is 12 or 15 or 18? Won't visuals be babyish? The short answer, no. Long answer, let's reframe it. So visuals are a tool, they're not a toy. So would you say that glasses are babyish or a to-do list? Adults use planners, road signs, emojis, reminders. These are all visual supports. So for older students, you can look at using age-appropriate symbols or icons, maybe color coding or written checklists, maybe using timers or work systems with numbered steps, even photos of their belongings or environment. It's not about young or old, it's just about what is going to help this brain to thrive. Okay, so quick recap, where can you use visuals besides the schedule? So here's your rapid fire checklist: transitions, emotional regulation, communication, behavior and routines, academics and independence, play and choice making, conflict resolution, calming and sensory spaces, peer interactions, social stories or problem solving. Visuals are everywhere, and the more that we use them intentionally, the more confident and successful our students become. Visual supports aren't just cute printables, they are a form of communication. They tell our students that they are seen, supported, and that they are not expected to remember or figure all of this out on their own. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you want some ready-to-use visual supports for routines, communication, regulation, and so much more, head on over to the show notes. I'm going to link a bunch of my favorite ones there. And don't forget to come find me on social media at Teaching Autism and say hi. Tag me in your visual setups or ask questions anytime. I love seeing how you're supporting your amazing students. Until next time, stay visual, stay flexible, and keep being the incredible educator that you are.